The crystalline spires of Selenia's royal palace caught the light of distant suns, casting rainbow patterns across Princess Zara Moonwhisper's private chambers. She sat cross-legged on her floating meditation cushion, silver hair cascading over her shoulders like liquid starlight, as she studied the forbidden device before her. The quantum communication array hummed softly, its opalescent surface pulsing with gentle light. Her father, King Orion, had explicitly warned her never to touch his diplomatic equipment, but curiosity had always been Zara's weakness. For 18 Earth years, she'd wondered about the worlds beyond their crystalline moon, especially the blue-green planet that shone so brightly in their night sky. Just a quick peek, she whispered to herself, her violet eyes sparkling with mischief. Her delicate fingers, pale as moonbeams, danced across the control interface. What harm could it possibly do? The device flickered to life, and suddenly Zara found herself staring at something she'd never seen before, streams of text flowing across a glowing screen in Angular, alien script. Her built-in translation matrix kicked in, converting the strange symbols into familiar Selenian glyphs. "Welcome to Astronomy Central Forums," she read aloud, her voice melodic even in confusion. "Earth's premier discussion board for space enthusiasts and stargazers." Earth. The name sent a thrill down her spine. She was actually connected to the mysterious third planet, the one her tutors called the Violent World, in hushed tones. But this didn't look violent at all, it looked fascinating. Thread after thread scrolled past: best telescopes for beginners, Mars colony possibilities, are we alone in the universe? That last one made her smile. If only they knew that a curious princess was reading their words from a moon orbiting their neighboring planet. Without quite meaning to, Zara found herself clicking on the thread. Dozens of responses filled the screen, each human sharing their thoughts about extraterrestrial life. Some were hopeful, others skeptical, but all were passionate about the possibility of finding other intelligent beings among the stars. Her heart raced as she read their dreams and theories. These humans weren't the savage warriors her people described, they were dreamers, philosophers, scientists reaching toward the cosmos with the same wonder she felt every night when she gazed at their world. Before she could stop herself, her fingers were moving across the interface, crafting a response. What if they're closer than you think? What if they're watching your beautiful blue world right now, wondering the same things about you? She hit send before her courage could fail her. The response was immediate. Username, Starseeker_Jake, replied, "That's a beautiful thought. I like to imagine that somewhere out there, someone's looking up at Earth and dreaming about making contact. Peaceful contact, of course. I think if we ever did meet aliens, it would be amazing to learn about their culture, their art, their way of seeing the universe." What made you think of that? Zara's heart fluttered. This Jake person seemed so kind. So genuinely curious rather than afraid. She found herself typing back, "I've always felt like the universe is too vast for us to be alone. Sometimes I look at the stars and feel like I'm already having a conversation with someone out there, you know?" Exactly. I'm studying astrophysics, and the more I learn about the cosmos, the more convinced I become that we're not alone. I'm Jake, by the way. Jake Martinez. I live in Colorado, lots of clear skies for stargazing here. What's your name? Are you an astronomy student too? Zara hesitated. She couldn't tell him the truth, that she was Princess Zara of Selenia, daughter of a king who ruled over cities carved from living crystal. Instead, she chose a version of the truth: "I'm Zara. I'm not formally studying astronomy, but I spend a lot of time watching the stars. I live far from cities. Very quiet, very peaceful." That sounds perfect for observation. I'm jealous. Light pollution is such a problem here. What kind of equipment do you use? The conversation flowed naturally from there. Jake told her about his telescope, his favorite constellations, his dream of working for the space agency. Zara found herself sharing her own observations, carefully avoiding anything that would reveal her true location. She told him about the crystal formations in her area that reflected starlight beautifully, about the aurora-like phenomena she witnessed regularly, about the peace she found in contemplating the cosmos. Hours passed without her noticing. Jake was intelligent, funny, and refreshingly genuine. He didn't boast or try to impress her, he simply shared his passion for the universe with infectious enthusiasm. "I have to ask," Jake typed, "you have such a unique way of describing things. Your writing is almost poetic. Are you a writer too?" Zara smiled. "I suppose I am, in a way. In my culture, we believe that beauty and truth are inseparable. When we speak of the stars, we try to capture not just what we see, but what we feel. That's beautiful. I wish more people thought that way. Most of my classmates are all about the math and physics, which I love too, but they forget about the wonder of it all. You get it." Something warm bloomed in Zara's chest. When was the last time someone had truly understood her? Her tutors were respectful but distant, her fellow nobles were more interested in court gossip than cosmic mysteries, and even her closest friends couldn't share her deepest thoughts about the universe beyond their world. "I should probably go," Jake wrote as their conversation stretched into its 4th hour. "Early class tomorrow. But this has been incredible, Zara. I've never talked to someone who sees the universe the way you do. Would it be okay if we talked again?" Zara's finger hovered over the interface. This was dangerous, she knew it was dangerous. Her father would be furious if he discovered she'd been communicating with aliens, especially humans. But Jake seemed so different from the humans in her political briefings. He was curious, not conquest-minded. Gentle, not aggressive. "I'd like that very much," she found herself typing. "Same time tomorrow?" "It's a date." "Well, not a date, obviously, since we've never met, but, you know what I mean. Sweet dreams, Zara. May your stars shine bright tonight." As Jake's username went offline, Zara leaned back in her chair, her heart racing with exhilaration and terror in equal measure. She'd just made contact with a human, actual, real contact. And not just any human, but one who shared her love of the cosmos, her sense of wonder, her dreams of connection across the vast distances of space. She looked out her window at the blue-green world hanging in Selenia's sky. Somewhere down there, Jake Martinez was probably looking up at the stars, maybe even glimpsing the pale light of her own moon. The thought made her smile. "Sweet dreams, Jake," she whispered to the distant planet. "May your stars shine bright too." Tomorrow she would have to be careful, would have to cover her tracks better. But tonight, she would fall asleep thinking about a human named Jake who saw poetry in the physics of the universe, who dreamed of peaceful contact with other worlds, who had no idea he'd just spent 4 hours talking to the very alien he hoped to someday meet. It was the beginning of something beautiful, something dangerous, and something that would change both their worlds forever. 3 weeks had passed since that first magical conversation, and Zara found herself living for those stolen hours when the palace slept and Jake's username would light up her screen. She'd become an expert at sneaking into her father's study, carefully activating the quantum communicator while avoiding the security sensors that monitored the diplomatic wing. Tonight was no different. Her bare feet made no sound on the crystal floors as she slipped through the moonlit corridors, her heart already racing with anticipation. The familiar hum of the device greeted her like an old friend, and within moments, she was connected to that wonderful, chaotic thing called the Internet. "Zara. There you are," Jake's first message appeared almost instantly. "I was starting to worry you'd forgotten about our midnight astronomy club." She smiled, her fingers dancing across the interface. "Never. I look forward to these conversations all day. How was your astrophysics exam?" "Brutal, but I think I passed." Professor Williams asked about theoretical communication with extraterrestrial life, and I couldn't help but think about our conversations. You have this way of explaining cosmic phenomena that makes more sense than my textbooks. If only he knew, Zara thought with a mixture of amusement and guilt. "I'm glad I can help. Tell me about your day." What followed was Jake's detailed account of his college life, the friends who didn't understand his obsession with the stars, the part-time job at the campus observatory, the girl in his chemistry class who kept asking him out despite his polite refusals. That last part made something twist in Zara's stomach, though she couldn't quite name the feeling. You turned her down again, she found herself typing before she could think better of it. Yeah, Emma's sweet, but I don't know. I keep thinking about someone else lately. Someone I can't stop thinking about, actually. Zara's breath caught. Oh. Someone from your astronomy club? Not exactly. More like someone I met in an online astronomy forum who's completely captured my imagination. She's brilliant, poetic, mysterious. I've never even seen her face, but I think I'm falling for her. The crystal chamber seemed to spin around Zara. He was talking about her. Jake Martinez, this wonderful human boy who made her laugh and challenged her thoughts and shared her dreams, was falling for her. The realization hit her like a solar flare, warming her from the inside out. That's wonderful, she managed to type, though her hands were trembling. Tell me about her. God, where do I start? She sees the universe like it's a living poem. When she describes the aurora she sees from her remote location, it's like she's painting with words. She's clearly brilliant, knows more about celestial mechanics than some of my professors, but she's also kind and funny and... I don't know, Zara. I feel like I've known her forever. Zara stared at the screen, her violet eyes wide with wonder and terror. This was happening. She was falling in love with a human, and miracle of miracles, he was falling in love with her too. The impossibility of it all made her head spin. Have you told her how you feel? She typed, her heart hammering against her ribs. I want to, but I'm scared I'll scare her away. We live so far apart, different continents, different time zones. She's probably way out of my league anyway. Sometimes I wonder if she's even real, or if I've imagined this perfect girl who understands me better than anyone ever has. Tears pricked at Zara's eyes. He thought she might not be real, when the truth was she was more real than anyone else in his world. She was about to respond when a soft gasp behind her made her freeze. Your Highness. Zara spun around to find Nova Sterling, her lady-in-waiting and closest friend, standing in the doorway. Nova's silver hair was disheveled from sleep, her usually perfect composure shattered by shock. Nova, Zara whispered, quickly minimizing the communication window. I can explain. You're communicating with aliens. Nova stepped into the room, her eyes wide with horror. Princess, do you have any idea what you've done? If your father discovers this, if the council finds out. He's not an alien to me, Zara said fiercely, rising from her chair. His name is Jake, and he's kind and wonderful and... he's human. Nova hissed, glancing around as if expecting royal guards to materialize from the shadows. Princess, humans are dangerous. They're violent, unpredictable. The peace accords specifically forbid unsanctioned contact. But he's not violent, Zara protested. He's gentle and curious and dreams of peaceful contact between our worlds. If you could just read our conversations. Conversations? Nova's voice rose an octave. How many times have you spoken with this human? Zara lifted her chin defiantly. Every night for 3 weeks. Nova sank into a nearby chair, her face pale. Princess, this is catastrophic. If anyone discovers what you've been doing, then help me make sure they don't, Zara said, kneeling beside her friend. Nova, you've been my companion since we were children. You know me better than anyone. I'm not some reckless girl playing with fire. What I feel for Jake, it's real. It's the most real thing I've ever experienced. Nova studied her princess's face, taking in the glow in her eyes, the flush in her cheeks, the way she spoke Jake's name like a prayer. You're in love with him. It wasn't a question. Zara nodded slowly. I think I am. And Nova, I think he loves me too. Oh, Princess, Nova whispered, her anger melting into concern. What are you going to do? Before Zara could answer, the communication device chimed softly. Jake's message appeared on the minimized window. Zara? Are you still there? I hope I didn't say something wrong. Zara looked at Nova pleadingly. Help me. Please. I know it's dangerous, I know it goes against everything we've been taught, but what if this is bigger than politics? What if this is the beginning of something beautiful? Nova was quiet for a long moment, studying the desperation in her princess's eyes. Finally, she sighed. What do you need me to do? Relief flooded through Zara. Just, cover for me. If anyone asks where I am during these late hours, tell them I am in my chambers, meditating or reading. And maybe help me be more careful. I nearly got caught tonight because I wasn't watching the time. Nova nodded slowly. I'll help you, but princess, you have to promise me something. The moment this becomes truly dangerous, the moment there's any threat to you or our people, you have to be willing to end it. I promise, Zara said, though the words felt like ashes in her mouth. Nova moved to the window, gazing out at the blue-green planet hanging in their sky. What's he like? This Jake. Zara's face lit up as she returned to the communication device. See for yourself. She pulled up their conversation history, and Nova read over her shoulder as months of messages scrolled past. Jake's descriptions of Earth's beauty, his dreams of space exploration, his gentle questions about Zara's mysterious life, his growing affection evident in every word. He seems different from what I expected, Nova admitted grudgingly. But princess, he thinks you're human. What happens when he learns the truth? Zara's fingers stilled on the interface. It was the question that haunted her every night. I don't know. But I have to believe that love is stronger than fear, that connection is more powerful than the prejudices our peoples have built up over generations. Nova squeezed her shoulder gently. For your sake, I hope you're right. Now respond to the poor boy before he thinks you've vanished into the cosmos. Zara smiled gratefully and began typing. Sorry, I'm here. I was just thinking about what you said. About the girl you're falling for. Jake, what would you do if she turned out to be very different from what you expected? The response came quickly. Different how? As long as she's still the amazing person I've gotten to know, I can't imagine it would matter. Love isn't about what someone looks like or where they come from, right? It's about connection, understanding, the way someone makes you feel like you're home even when you're talking across impossible distances. Zara's eyes filled with tears. That's beautiful, Jake. She makes me want to be poetic, he replied. Zara, I have to ask you something, and I want you to be honest with me. Do you feel it too? This connection between us? Because I'm falling for you, and I need to know if I'm alone in this. Zara looked at Nova, who nodded encouragingly despite the worry in her eyes. Taking a deep breath, Zara typed the truth. You're not alone, Jake. I feel it too. I think about you constantly, dream about our conversations, wonder what it would be like to see the stars through your eyes. I'm falling for you too. God, Zara. I wish I could hold you right now. I wish I could show you the aurora borealis from my backyard, wish I could hear your voice, see your smile. Is there any way we could video chat? I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like I need to see you. Zara's blood ran cold. A video call would reveal everything, her pointed ears, her violet eyes, the crystalline architecture visible through her window. There would be no hiding what she was. I can't. Not yet. My situation is complicated, Jake. But someday, I hope we can meet properly. Complicated how? Zara, you're not in trouble, are you? You're not in some kind of danger. The concern in his words made her heart ache. No danger. Just, complicated family circumstances. Traditional parents who wouldn't understand our friendship. I get it. My parents worry about my internet friends too. But Zara, promise me something. If you ever need help, if you're ever in real trouble, you'll tell me? I know we're far apart, but I'd find a way to help you. I care about you too much to let anything happen to you. Zara wiped away a tear. I promise, Jake. And thank you. For caring about me, for seeing me as more than just words on a screen. You're so much more than that, Zara. You're the most real thing in my life. They talked for another hour, sharing stories and dreams and fears, while Nova dozed in a nearby chair. When Jake finally signed off with his usual, sweet dreams, Zara sat back with a sigh that was equal parts contentment and anxiety. He loves you, Nova observed quietly. And I love him, Zara replied. Nova, what am I going to do? I can't keep lying to him forever, but if I tell him the truth. He might run away, Nova finished gently. Or he might surprise you. From what I've read tonight, he seems like the kind of person who values the heart over appearances. Zara nodded, though doubt gnawed at her. I just need more time. Time to find the right way to tell him, time to prove that love really can bridge any distance. As they made their way back through the moonlit corridors, Nova couldn't help but worry about her princess. Love was a beautiful thing, but love across species, across worlds, across the vast political divide between their peoples, that was the stuff of tragedy as much as romance. Still, seeing the joy in Zara's eyes, the way she glowed with happiness despite the impossible circumstances, Nova found herself hoping that somehow, some way, love would indeed prove stronger than the stars themselves. 2 months had passed since Nova discovered Zara's secret, and the princess had grown increasingly restless. Every conversation with Jake deepened their connection, but the weight of her deception grew heavier with each passing day. Tonight felt different somehow, charged with an electricity that made her crystal chambers hum with anticipation. Zara, I need to tell you something, Jake's message appeared on her screen, causing her heart to skip a beat. My friend Tessa, she's a computer engineering genius, she's been helping me work on something. A way for us to video chat securely. I know you said your situation is complicated, but I can't stand not seeing you anymore. I'm going crazy here. Zara's hands trembled as she read his words. Beside her, Nova placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Perhaps it's time, princess, Nova whispered. The lying is eating you alive. I see how it pains you every night. But what if he rejects me? Zara's voice cracked. What if he's so horrified by what I am that he never wants to speak to me again? Then he was never worthy of your love to begin with, Nova replied firmly. But from everything I've observed, Jake cares about your heart, not your appearance. Zara took a shuddering breath and began typing, Jake, I need to tell you something too. Something important. If we're going to video chat, there are things about me you need to know first. Whatever it is, it won't change how I feel about you. I love you, Zara. I've been wanting to say that for weeks now. I love your mind, your spirit, the way you see beauty in everything. Nothing could change that. Tears streamed down Zara's cheeks. He loved her. This wonderful, brave human loved her, and now she had to risk losing him forever. Jake, when I said I lived far away, I meant, very far away. And when I said my family situation was complicated, I meant that in ways you can't imagine. I'm not human, Jake. For long minutes, there was no response. Zara watched the screen with growing panic, imagining Jake's shock, his disgust, his retreat from their conversation forever. Finally, his reply appeared, what do you mean, not human? Zara, you're scaring me. I mean I'm from another world. The blue-green planet you see in your night sky, I'm looking at it right now from my home on Sionia, your moon's neighboring satellite. I'm what your people would call an alien. Again, silence stretched between them. Zara could practically feel Jake's world shifting, his understanding of reality crumbling and rebuilding. This is a joke, right? Came his eventual response. Some kind of elaborate prank? I wish it were. Jake, everything I've told you about myself is true, my love of astronomy, my curiosity about other worlds, my feelings for you. The only thing I've hidden is what I am. I'm Princess Zara Moonwhisper of Sealnia, and I've been breaking every law of my people to talk to you. The quantum communicator chimed with an incoming video call request. Zara's heart nearly stopped. Prove it, Jake had written. If you're really an alien princess, show me. I need to see you, Zara. I need to know if any of this is real. Zara looked at Nova, who nodded encouragingly. With trembling fingers, she accepted the call. The screen flickered to life, revealing Jake's face for the first time. He was even more handsome than she'd imagined, dark eyes filled with intelligence and kindness, warm brown skin, a gentle smile that faltered as he saw her. For a moment, they simply stared at each other across the impossible distance of space. Zara took in every detail of his face while he absorbed the reality of hers, her luminous violet eyes, her pointed ears, her silver hair that seemed to glow with its own inner light, the crystalline architecture visible behind her. Holy! Jake breathed, his voice finally reaching her across the void. You're really alien, Zara finished softly, her own voice melodic in the way of her people. I'm sorry I lied to you, Jake. I was terrified you'd run away if you knew the truth. Jake leaned closer to his camera, studying her face intently. You're beautiful, he whispered, and Zara's heart soared. You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But Zara, this is incredible. You're from another world. A real, living alien who's been talking to me for months. Does that change anything? She asked, hardly daring to breathe. Change anything? Jake laughed, the sound filled with wonder rather than mockery. Zara, I'm talking to an alien princess who shares my love of the cosmos, who's brilliant and kind and funny, who's been reaching across space itself to connect with me. This doesn't change anything, it makes everything more amazing. Relief flooded through Zara like warm starlight. You're not afraid of me? Afraid? Zara, I'm in awe of you. Do you realize what this means? First contact between our species, and it happened because we fell in love. This is the most romantic thing in the history of the universe. Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of approaching footsteps in the corridor outside Zara's chamber. Heavy boots, the measured stride of palace guards. Someone's coming, Nova hissed, moving to the door. But it was too late. The chamber doors burst open, revealing King Orion Moonwhisper flanked by his personal guard. His regal face was a mask of fury as he took in the scene, his daughter's tear-stained face, the active communication device, the human boy visible on the screen. Princess Zara Moonwhisper, the king's voice boomed through the crystal chamber, you are under arrest for high treason against the crown and violation of the interstellar non-contact accord. Father, please, Zara began, but Jake's voice cut through from the screen. Wait, who are you? What's happening? Zara, are you in trouble? King Orion's gaze fixed on the screen, his expression darkening further. So this is the human who has corrupted my daughter's mind. Guards, destroy this device immediately. No. Zara cried, throwing herself between the guards and the communicator. Father, you don't understand. Jake is different. He's not like the humans in your reports. He's kind and peaceful and he is the enemy, King Orion stated coldly. Just as his people have always been. Guards, escort the princess to her quarters. She is confined to the palace until further notice. Your Majesty, Jake's voice came from the screen, respectful but firm. I don't know what you've been told about humans, but I promise you I mean no harm to your daughter or your people. I love Zara. I would never do anything to hurt her. The king's eyes flashed dangerously. Love? You dare speak of love while infiltrating our communications, gathering intelligence on our defenses? I'm not gathering intelligence, Jake protested. I'm a college student studying astrophysics. I had no idea Zara was an alien when we first started talking. We connected over our shared love of astronomy. Everything between us has been genuine. Lies, King Orion spat. Typical human deception. As the guards moved to escort Zara away, she managed one last desperate look at the screen. Jake, I love you. Don't give up on us. Please. I won't, Jake replied fiercely. Zara, I'll find a way to prove to your father that not all humans are enemies. I'll find a way back to you. The communication was severed, leaving Jake staring at a blank screen while Zara was marched from the chamber. King Orion turned to address Nova, who had been watching the proceedings with growing horror. Lady Nova, you will report to the council chambers immediately. We need to know exactly how long this treachery has been taking place and what classified information may have been compromised. As Nova was led away, she caught Zara's eye and mouthed, "Don't lose hope." Back on Earth, Jake sat in stunned silence in his dorm room, his mind reeling from everything that had just transpired. His best friend Tessa Chen knocked on the door, entering to find him staring at the communication device they'd built together. Jake. I heard shouting from your room. Did the video call work? Tessa, Jake said slowly, his voice filled with amazement and grief, I need to tell you something that's going to sound completely insane. The girl I've been talking to, Zara, she's not human. She's an alien princess from one of Jupiter's moons, and her father just arrested her for talking to me. Tessa blinked several times, processing this information. Okay, she said finally. That's a lot. But Jake, if she's really an alien, and you two have been communicating for months, this is the most important thing that's ever happened to humanity. We need to document everything, we need to. We need to help her, Jake interrupted. Tessa, she's in trouble because of me. Because she dared to reach out to a human. I have to find a way to get back in contact with her, to prove to her father that humans and aliens can coexist peacefully. Meanwhile, in her locked chambers high in the Crystal Palace, Zara sat by her window gazing at the blue-green planet that held her heart. Nova had been right, the truth had set her free in some ways, even as it had trapped her in others. At least now Jake knew who she really was, and he hadn't rejected her. He had called her beautiful. He had said he loved her. He had promised not to give up. As the twin suns of Selenia set behind the distant mountains, painting the crystal spires in shades of rose and gold, Zara pressed her hand against the cool window and whispered a promise to the stars, I won't give up either, Jake Martinez. Somehow, some way, we'll find each other again. The revelation was complete. The truth was out. Now came the hardest part of all, proving that love really could bridge the impossible distance between worlds, species, and the prejudices that had kept them apart for so long. The stage was set for either the greatest triumph or the most heartbreaking tragedy in the history of two worlds. Only time would tell which it would be.